Hey, my name is Bep. So, before we kick this off, I want to note something very important to this entire experience. I have thalassophobia, aka the fear of deep water. It does deeply color my interactions with Dredge, but not in any way I wasn't a huge fan of. Let's set sail. I kind of struggled how to classify this one at first. It's not really an adventure game in the traditional sense, nor is it a relaxed experience. The descriptor I settled on was an uncomfy fishing sim, instead of more comfy sims like Animal Crossing and Stardew Valley, where the point is to live your cottagecore dreams of home ownership and healthy relationships. Dredge makes you do all of the management aspects of breaking tools in limited space, while it is also actively hostile to you and anything you're going for. You want a faster ship? Congratulations, it's now easier to slam yourself into rocks. Brighter lights? Cool. You're now easier for hostile entities to see. So many steps forward can also be steps back, because this world doesn't give two fucks if you want to catch and sell fish. Things are worse than they used to be, and it is your problem. Let's talk mechanics. First and foremost, this is a fishing game, and that is the core of your interactions with it. First, you have to load in gear, which gives you the ability to catch fish in certain areas, but also takes up your limited space. So you have to balance what spots will take rods or engines with how much hull space you actually want to make a profit with. So your fishing excursions are limited both by your time and your ability to store fish. I love this because it activates my Tetris brain and only gets more and more complex. It starts off easy, 1x2s and short L's, but expensive fish take up more space more awkwardly. At one point, I literally could not store a sailfish because of my specific gear and ship size combination. Catching fish itself is a minigame. It varies in some places, but it's all timing-based QTEs, which folks might take issue with, but I feel perfectly reflects the banal repetition of fishing. It's not to mention that keeping steady under pressure can be really difficult. I do have a love for these kind of minigames, and it helped me achieve a kind of zen state on occasion, which made the rest of the game contrast ever more starkly. There are passive ways to catch fish, like trailing a trawling net or throwing down crab pots, but honestly, I only did this as I needed, and I found it more tedious even if it was more time effective and profitable. Beyond the thrust of the kind of loose plot, the main line, at least for me, was the encyclopedia, which means I'm filling out a decks in back-to-back games. I did laugh when I realized that, it was a little funny, but the encyclopedia will tell you the area, method, and time a fish spawn, so it makes life a little bit easier. It also tracks your rarer variants called aberrations. Every fish has at least one, and nearly all are needed for completion. They spawn in the same place as their baseline kin, with a random chance to pull one up on any given reel, bumped up to a guarantee if you see the ominous mirage waving over the space. Later on, you get a way to certify aberration spawns, but early on I didn't know that and settled for reeling them in the hard way. Something else I also can't let go unremarked upon: the designs of the aberrations get fucking crazy. These aren't palette swaps, they're fish turned into fucked up monsters which should not be. In the clear light of day, they're perturbing, but they're not truly horror. But I realized that some fish only spawn at night, and that I needed to catch them. Welcome to the maelstrom. At night, everything inverts. You have a light, but there's something out there. Light makes it easier to see, but also to be seen. There's a single line in the beginning that sets a trap that you kind of stumble into when you have to make these night rides. At first, you were staying safe, staying in the rock blanket of the Marrows, but soon you deplete those resources. The returns diminish and you have to range farther and farther. Going too long without sleep in the dark makes you paranoid. You start seeing things. Were they always there? Your conscious mind pushing them down, or are they spawned from you, or there's another boat out there in the darkness? But you're the only fisherman. Best to let it pass. Eventually, when you can push your engines to their limits, you do so, but you push them too hard and you blow them too far away. Desperate, you limp back to town, but it's such a long way. You're too far. You can barely see. You don't dare to look back. You're so close, but you're not close enough. The beast that lurks takes a chunk of your hull, and you can't even try to speed up to get away. You barely survive due only to the beast's indifference, not your skill or your planning or your cunning.
You should have fought back.
The sun clears the dark, and you're safe again. So, that's the insanity system. If you're out at night, you grow more and more paranoid and vulnerable. Using your light slows your sanity loss, but also makes you an obvious target. It's an incredibly tense trade-off, which made me, Bep, paranoid to the point I never went out at night if I didn't need to. It made me terrified of both the deep and the dark. It took me a while to leave the Marrows. I was trying to catch aberrations the hard way, which did make me incredibly rich, though. Eventually I did have to leave for the Gale Cliffs. The open ocean is kind of terrifying, so I didn't really stop to fish anywhere. The Marrows are unintimidating by design, but that does not hold. The Gale Cliffs are jagged and looming, but I learned my lesson from my scrape with the anglerfish, and I stay active only during the day. After all, the big guys aren't. Fuck. So yes, Dredge does establish a set of rules for how the monsters work, only to rip the rug out from under you in the second zone. I won't be as specific for the other areas' mechanics, but I do want to touch on their biomes because honestly it's really fucking cool. Gale Cliffs is tall and jagged, complete with a waterfall and a bunch of decently thin, difficult to navigate paths. Stellar Basin is a reef that truly comes alive in the terrible night. Devil's Spine is a volcanic ruin with an ominous presence. And lastly, there's the wonderful, amazing, beautiful, Twisted Strand. Mangrove forests are one of my favorite habitats visually, and I was genuinely overjoyed to see one here. Is it a huge pain in the ass, and did I crack my hull on multiple routes? Of course I did, but I wouldn't change it for anything. There's also a pair of DLCs. They come with their own achievements, so I can't say I did it for love of the game like I did for Caseppi's, although I would have. I really enjoyed playing this despite the fact that it made me hate being alive. The Pale Reaches introduce a new Arctic zone with its own fish and its own threat, a kind of Yeti narwhal hybrid. It does give you an icebreaker that lets you crash forward, and that's a ton of fun. It has this little side story working through the aftermath of a crew being turned on each other by eldritch influence. It's not super substantial or anything, but it is a cool experience. I'll be here all week. The other expansion is Iron Rig, which doesn't add to the map, but it does add a lot more depth. The general story is a company, Iron Haven, is building an oil drilling rig in the north sector of the map. You help build up the rig, protect it from attack by eye tentacles, while also hunting down new fish using the advanced rods in the polluting oil spilling from these glowing cracks that run all over the map. We also... What the fuck is that? That's big. It's also the only big boy who doesn't have the red-eyed eldritch influence, which sets him very far apart from the other Titans. To be honest, I still don't fully know who this is, but I wanted to show them. Love this whole new venture. It's robust, it adds a lot more texture to the existing areas while giving you new items to interact with. There's also a plethora of side missions to do, called pursuits here, and unshockingly, a lot of them are about delivering fish, because what else are you doing? They're more engaging than they should be for being functionally fetch quests, but so much of the mechanics of Dredge are fetching objects anyway, so it didn't really bother me that much. The various NPCs you meet while sailing are all beautifully illustrated, each totally distinct and evocative. They also tend to fall into two broad categories: accepting and obsessed. Accepting NPCs are like the grieving father, the traveling merchant, the brothers of the Gale Cliffs, the researcher, the airman, and most crucial, the lighthouse keeper. They accept what they cannot understand and do not know. Their main goal is to move forward, whether they accomplish some great goal or not. The lighthouse keeper specifically is constantly steering you towards some greater truth that you no longer remember. Obsessed characters are far more impactful and obvious. The fishmonger, the dock worker, the scientist, Magron, the old mayor, the cultist Power Rangers, and the biggest of all, the collector. The collector is possessed of genuine eldritch power and can impart some of it upon you as you give him the objects he hunts, a pursuit he is psychopathically dedicated to. The keeper and the collector even have matched names. You keep memories, but you collect things. Both are about retention, but their objectives are much different. You can keep a memory even if everyone in it is gone. You can only keep an object if it's in your hands. So, what is it the fisherman is struggling to hold on to? As I alluded to when this game was chosen, your wife is dead. You can find notes left behind in bottles that kind of slowly tell you this. The notes are even said to seek you out and make you remember. The entire game then becomes recontextualized. You are being shown two paths to deal with grief, loss, and death. You can accept what you cannot change, or be lost to the insistence that you are the one really in control. So, is your wife a person who can die tragically, or just another thing to collect? To be clear, I loved Dredge. I would give it a strong recommendation, even if you have some fear of deep water, because I think that enhances the experience. Let's plumb the depths and see what else there is to find. Okay. Yeah, okay.
Big money, no limit.
Fucking Blue earlier said I'm probably going to draw a bad one, which I think is true, because I've had two good ones. Which means, like, just by pure statistics, it's got to be bad, right?
Right.
All right, let me know when all folks are in here. I want to be in here.
Okay.
I'm here.
I got
Yeah, I can see it.
150,000 won on this.
What is that? What is that? $7?
Oh my god.
104 bucks.
What did you say?
104, give or take.
It's oddly. Oh, it's about $100.
I got-
All right,
I
fair
got-
enough.
I got $69. I'm not gonna get picked.
The odds are not with you. All
Not
right,
great. It's not great. It's
here
fine.
here we fucking go.
All right.
Wheel,
All right.
wheel,
Wheel.
wheel,
Wheel.
wheel,
Wheel.
wheel,
Wheel. Wheel. Wheel.
Wheel.
I got a pig in a hat. That is
Very cute.
number 13.
Not mine, by the way.
Lucky number 13.
Unpacking.
Unpacking.
Fuck.
Huh. I've never heard of this one, but let's see if we can hit a hat trick. Before I go, I do want to do some acknowledgments. The whispered chorus you heard and probably struggled to hear me through, because that was kind of the point, was a joint effort from a lot of people who are more likely to put up with my bullshit than normal, and I do appreciate that from them. So I would like to extend my thanks to Matt, Sil, Mal, Brenna, Leica, Fern, Jack, Marvin, Blue, and Yeti. It really sounds like I stacked those last two as a joke, but I didn't actually. Anyway, I'll see you when I see you. Later.